Hi quilters, Happy New Year. It's 2025 and that means it's time to get to work on our 2025 projects of the month. I've picked my 12 projects. Here's the plan. Pick 12 projects, write them down in a journal or on a piece of paper that you post somewhere. I've written mine in my journal that I'm going to keep track of all year long. So I have all 12 projects written down. Putting it in writing really helps define your goals, and you can see progress when you write the word done behind the project. I'm putting mine in my journal for safekeeping. And then every month you'll come back to our channel and I will pull a number out of the bucket, and that is the project you will work on that month. Before I share my projects, I want to add a few tips in for this. Life happens, so don't beat yourself up when you can't finish a project that month. Any sort of progress is a good job, and progress is progress. So just work on it a little bit if you can't get the whole thing done. If you do happen to finish a project, say you have an easy one month, then work on a little bit of something else in one of your buckets, maybe one of your harder projects. That way, when you do get to that month, you have a head start on it. Before we draw the number for January, I'm going to show you my 12 projects for 2025. Project number 1 for me. I have a minion panel that I would like to use and get rid of so that somebody has a fun little minion quilt. So that is my first project. I don't have a pattern picked out or any other fabric to go with it, but when I pick that number, I will choose those things then. Project number 2. A while back, I think it was in 2015, I went on a road trip and collected a bunch of these license plates that were with the row by row for that year. And then I also collected a bunch of patterns to use all the different license plates. And they have been sitting in a bucket ever since. So what I want to do is use some of these. Look how many I have. I have so many. Use some of these to make some of these projects. I can make 1 or 2 or all of them, but I would like to use these up. Make something fun. Remember that road trip I took, and create some fun things. Project number 3. This is related to project number 2. These are kits that I bought from that same row by row 2015, so it's 2025, 10 years old, time to use these up. And I bought some fabric that went with those, kits from all different shops, and I wanted to make a row by row quilt. So this is the year to get that done. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun remembering that road trip. Going to look up the different shops to see if they're still around and share their row from 2015. Project number 4. These are my splendid sampler blocks. Look at this pile. Isn't that cool? All 100 6-inch blocks from the book. I'm going to get them together into a quilt this year, and we will call that whole thing done. So kind of excited about working on that project. Project number 5. This is a wedding ring quilt I started a while back. I have all the arcs done. I just need to find a fabric I want to use for the footballs and the center part. So I need to finish that, and that was one of those strip piece wedding ring quilts. So it's kind of a fun technique. Project number 6. This one I'm really excited about because I lost it for a few years. Was very sad because I couldn't find it. I looked everywhere, and finally I found it again. One of my really good friends had given me one of these. Well, she gave us 2 actually, one for me and one for my daughter. These kind of velveteen bedspreads that she had from her grandmother. And what we're making are these robes for Halloween, and they're spectacular. So my daughter's got done a couple years ago, I think. It was either in 22 or 23. And finally, I found my pieces, and I am going to get mine done. Project number 7. So a while back, maybe 10 years, I don't know, 8 years maybe, I bought the big foam thing to make one of these tuffets. And it has been sitting in my closet ever since. I keep trying to find time to make it. This year, I'm going to make time to make it. So that will be project number 7. Project number 8. So a long time ago, because this is copyrighted in 2003. I bought this kit to make this little chicken pincushion, and it's been in my drawer ever since, and this year it's going to become an actual pincushion that I can use. Project number 9. This is a kit I made for myself out of fabric I wanted to use, and it's red, black, and gray. I've got a lot of fabric in here. I have some pieces cut, but I don't have a pattern, so I need to do some research, figure out what I was trying to make, and if I can't figure it out, I'll just make something new, decide a new project. That's project 9. I think it's going to be a queen size quilt. Project number 10. I decided this year to put in a few easy projects because last year I kind of gave myself a lot to do. So this year I put in a few really easy ones. This is an infinity scarf. It's exactly 2 seams. So I'm going to be very excited when I get to pick project number 10. Project number 11. When my daughter was about 3, I made her a Barbie quilt, and it was out of a panel. I don't even remember where I picked it up. And these were some of the pieces that you made that went with it. And did I ever get these done? No. So it is time to get them done and pass that Barbie quilt onto someone who can have some fun with it. I think these pieces make like a little bed and a little dress. And like, look at this one, it's so cute. It's like a little party mat that has happy birthday on it. So we'll have some fun with that. Maybe get our Barbies out and play before we share it with someone else. Project number 12. This bucket has some blocks in it that I made a while ago. These are denim and cotton. I made it on the grid, so it is easier than it looks. And the nice thing about this is you can make blocks as you go and then put them together in a quilt. Now, some of these have all the same fabric in each of the squares that are opposite the denim, and some of them are, let me get down here a little ways, different fabrics in each of the opposite squares. So it's denim, cotton, denim, cotton, denim. Each of the corners is denim. I think I'm going to put a sashing between them, and I think I was working on 2 different quilts, one that had the different colors and one that had all the same colors. So I will have to do some research to see how many blocks I have and how much I want to do, if I want to make 2 quilts or 1 big one. I have all the extra denim and some of the squares that match the squares that are already in there in the bottom of my bucket, so I can make more blocks. And these were all using 2.5-inch strips, so I can get some things out of my strip bucket. The denim came from the leftover pieces when I was cutting out some Charming Circles ruler projects. And there were little pieces left over, and of course I couldn't throw them away. So I saved them, cut them into 2.5-inch squares to work on these blocks. So that is project number 12. So now you've seen all of my projects, and it's time to pick the number that we're going to work on for January. So I have all the numbers written on these little cards. We're going to put them all in the bucket, and then we're going to pull out our first number. This is exciting. We're going to start off 2025 strong. We're all going to work on project number 4. So for me, project number 4 is my splendid sampler blocks. So this is the month they are going to become a quilt, hopefully, with any luck. All right, we will see you in February. We hope you have a great, productive month. Thanks for watching, and happy quilting.